They will not warn you before betraying you. They'll grin, shake your hand, and wait for the appropriate time to strike. And the instant you appear vulnerable, they move. In our world, perception is more deadly than reality. You don't have to be broken for them to ruin you. You only need to appear breakable. Machiavelli lasted not because he was strong, but because he appeared invincible. If you want authority, you must understand this. Never bleed in front of wolves. Even if you are dying, make them feel you are prepared to kill. They attack you not because you are weak, but because you appear weak. Machiavelli did not warn you about adversaries. He warned you about appearing soft. If you want to be untouchable, the first step is to eliminate the appearance of weakness. The world only cares about how you appear yourself, not how much you are hurting. You might be bleeding internally, but if they see it, they will take advantage of it. According to Machiavelli, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. This suggests that perspective is everything. You must master the impression of strength, even if you are broken inside. Never demonstrate public struggle. Don't cry on social media. Don't complain to people who don't need to know. Suffer in silence. Because every time you demonstrate weakness, someone is watching and calculating. Next, say less and observe more. The more you talk, the more weapons you give your opponents. Nobody knows what you're rethinking. Therefore, they're worried about what you could do. Unpredictability confers power. Silence is a strategy. Machiavelli felt that those who survive are not necessarily the strongest, but rather those who are unable to read. Remove emotion from your decision-making. Emotional people are easy to manipulate. They make rash decisions, ask for forgiveness, and later regret their acts. Not you. Your goal is to replace "how am I feeling" with "what does this accomplish?" Being good will not protect you. Being strategic will. Let go of the need to be loved. If you are obsessed with approval, you are easily persuaded. Machiavelli famously stated, "It is better to be feared than loved." If you can be both, have people respect your presence rather than demand your attention. People comply because they don't want to disappoint you. When someone loves you too much, they use you. Finally, cut off anyone who seeks excessive access. Access equals control. The more people can access you, the more they will study your habits, emotions, and weaknesses. Control access as a castle controls its gates. Be friendly but distant. Present yet elusive. Let them see your shadow rather than your face. The untouchable are not overexposed. They are legends. The illusion of fragility invites others to ruin you. If they believe you can be injured, they will try. But if you shatter that illusion, if you become a mirror they can read, a storm they can't predict, they will reconsider. To win, you only need to think twice. Power is not about fact, but about perception. Machiavelli recognized that people are too sluggish to delve past the surface. Therefore, you only control the surface. If you want to be untouchable, you have to master the image you project to the world. Your reality is irrelevant. Only what others believe is genuine. Control how others perceive you, and you control how they treat you. Most people expose themselves. They overshare. They explain. They defend. They crave sympathy. That is weakness. You don't owe anyone the truth. You owe yourself this advantage. Begin by constructing your identity as a weapon. Be seen exactly how you want to be viewed. If you want to be regarded, act cool and competent. If you want to be feared, make your silence seem like a threat. Every movement, word, and expression must have a purpose. Don't reveal anything needless. Your strength stems from being unreadable. When people figure you out, they start mapping your flaws, testing your boundaries, and challenging your authority. Never show them the complete picture. Always leave something undiscovered. Let them make a guess. Allow them to doubt. Allow them to murmur about what you might do next. Fear thrives in solitude, and shadows. Machiavelli taught that people are more influenced by appearances than by facts. Use this to your advantage. Maintain a calm demeanor when you are struggling. If you are doubtful, act decisively. If you replotting vengeance, smile like a friend. Master the art of deception not to harm others, but to protect yourself from being hurt. In a world where perception determines status, reality becomes irrelevant. You can be strong and still be seen as a joke if your image is weak, or you can be empty on the inside but be feared as a deity if your image is cruel. Untouchables don't beg to be recognized for who they truly are. They create a version of themselves that cannot be contested. They create an intimidating persona rather than one of despair. Your posture, your words, your presence. Everything has to be intentional. There is no room for mishaps. From this point forward, you must recognize that everything you do conveys a message. So, choose each signal with purpose. When you enter a room, act like a menace. Speak as if there is a consequence. When you re-silent, let it burn as a warning. You are no longer simply a person, you are a presence. Presence, said Rob causes it. Presence is what causes people to hesitate. Perception is the leash or sword. Control it and you will not be touched. If you lose control of it, you will become everyone's target. Build your image like a castle. Keep your flaws hidden behind quiet. Conceal your intentions with confidence. And make sure that every version of you they see scares them so much that they never test the real one. Loyalty is a lovely word until you understand it being used to manipulate you. Machiavelli understood that allegiance is rarely pure. It is transactional. People are loyal to their own interests, not yours. When your value falls, their allegiance evaporates. If you want to be untouchable, break the notion that loyalty protects you. It does not. Power protects you. Stop forming emotional attachments and start gaining leverage. Leverage keeps individuals in line. If someone respects you simply because they like you, they will betray you when they don't. However, if they respect you because they need you or are afraid of the consequences of crossing you, they will remain loyal even if they despise you. That is the fact no one wants to face. People are influenced by their level of power. Don't be deceived by pleasant words or long-standing friendships. Many others are simply waiting for the proper moment to profit from your demise. So, stay 10 steps ahead. Maintain control of what others require. Make yourself indispensable or dangerous. You must be the one holding the rope, not the one dangling from it, relying on others not to let go. Machiavelli trusted power dynamics rather than loyalty. Keep folks close but always have the upper hand. Give just enough to make them rely on you, but never so much that you become reliant on them. If someone does you a favor, show them strength, not weakness. Never grovel. Never owe too much. Which I always have the option to walk away, because the person who can go is in power. Emotional attachment is an adversary of strategy. You can love others, but never let love blind you. Be alert. The most dangerous people aren't your adversaries. They're the ones who pretend to be allies while waiting for your guard to slip. The untouchables form alliances, not friendships. They recognize that ambition, jealousy, or fear can break even the strongest bonds, so they prepare. They do not make promises they cannot keep. They don't believe in eternity. They believe in timing, control, and options. And that approach has kept them unblemished. Loyalty is a weakness when it is blind. Allow others to swear their devotion. Allow them to say they will never turn on you. Smile and nod, but prepare for the day they do. Because when that day arrives, you won't beg or cry. You'll already have a replacement in place. You will already have the upper hand. And this is what makes you untouchable. Not who is loyal to you, but how effectively You have maintained your place even when others are not. The strong cannot afford the luxury of hesitation. Your enemy want you to utilize emotion as a weapon, because once you begin to feel, you stop thinking. Machiavelli recognized this long before psychology named it. He didn't romanticize revenge. He planned it. He acted out of necessity, not rage. This is how the untouchables rise. They only strike when they have complete control. If you allow anger drive you, you will fail. You soul react. You'll be exposed. However, if you detach, if you become cold, surgical, and calculated, every move becomes a step towards power. The untouchables are not heartless. They are determined. You must learn to overcome your emotions. Not completely suppress them, but use them as tools. Let anger feed preparedness rather than outbursts. Let betrayal inspire silence and strategy rather than tears and threats. Your adversary must never know how deeply it hurt you. If they think they shook you, they've already won. However, if they hit you and you don't T-flinch, if you answer calmly and precisely, they begin to question their power. That skepticism becomes your weapon. You must develop the ability to smile at someone's throat while secretly plotting to crush it. Not because you enjoy being harsh, but because mercy is wasted on those who seek to harm you. When you strike, leave no room for retribution. Half measures are an invitation to future fights. When it's time to move, you don't erase questions or provide warnings. You simply eliminate the threat. Burn the bridge, remove the piece from the board. Your enemies must be afraid of what you will do, not hoping for forgiveness. That does not imply public violence. Rather, it involves psychic dominance, economic destruction, social isolation, and reputational loss. Quiet their voice. Remove their influence. Make it impossible for them to get up without crawling. That isn't cruelty. It's survival in a world where weakness breeds slaughter. The untouchables do not play fairly, they play to win. If someone attempts to undermine you, destroy the hand that they used. If they lie about you, make the truth more obvious and ugly for them. If they try to steal your opportunity, take whatever they hoped for and crush it beneath your growth. This is not about pettiness. It is about finality. Emotional folks oscillate back and forth, unsure whether they are doing the right thing. The untouchables do not flinch. They understand that if the enemy is not neutralized, they would return stronger. Therefore, they remove the option. Machiavelli stated that a king must be able to be both beast and man. The beast attacks without fear. The man determines when and where to strike. Together, they form the ideal weapon, a mind that plans and a presence that commands. That is who you must become. Calm, emotionless, lethal. Never react in the heat of the moment. Wait, observe, plan, then move without feeling. There's no drama, only outcomes. Those that play victim will try to make you feel bad. Do not fall for it. Guilt is used to disarm you. Your only obligation is for your own stance. If they sought mercy, they should not have begun the war. If they regret what they did, let that regret consume them from within. You don't exist to fix their conscience. You exist to protect your power. That's just not arrogance. It's self-preservation. Do not explain your conduct. Do not disclose your strategy. Execute silently. The most effective strikes occur unexpectedly and leave no trace. When you act emotionlessly and precisely before walking away as if nothing occurred. Allow the world to wonder how it came apart. Allow your foes to sit in the silence of your aftermath. The quiet is louder than any cry. The untouchables do not seek approval for their decisions. They do not justify. They do not defend. They do not whine. They resolve issues and go forward. That is what it means to be a strategist rather than a servant of emotion. You don't want to become tied to the consequences. You don't want retribution to feel better. You seek victory to gain power. Every act of revenge is simply a play in a larger game. And if the game concludes with your opponent defeated, your reputation impenetrable, and your head clear you've won. And you did it without breaking, folding, or revealing how close they got to touching your throne. They tried. They failed. You remained, because while they played with emotions, you played for real. To become untouchable, you must hide in plain sight. Power is most secure when it is invisible. The most dangerous person in the room is never the one who shouts loudest or stands in the spotlight. It's the one who observes quietly and controls the situation without saying anything. Machiavelli understood this. When they realize you're in charge, they begin preparing ways to take it from you. But if you reign from the shadows, they want to know to who to got it. Visibility breeds envy. Attention invites sabotage. Influence without exposure equals invincibility. Your strength should never be displayed, rather it should be suspected, whispered about, never confirmed. The untouchable comprehend that the more people gaze at you, the more they plan for your demise. However, when you are hidden, you cannot be targeted. You are the wind, not the storm. The hand behind the throne, not the image on the banner. The key to absolute power is control without credit. Allow others to wear the crown while you own the kingdom. Allow them to quarrel for titles and applause while you discreetly direct outcomes. This is how you stay undefeated, be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. You must learn to influence others without owning them, guide situations without being attached to them, win battles without revealing your presence, allow others to feel in control, feed their egos, allow them to believe they are in control while you chart the course. The more they assume they are independent, the more they will unintentionally serve your interests. That's not manipulation. It's mastery. Mastery is the mark of the untouchable. Don't strive to prove your worth. Stop displaying your strength. The most effective maneuvers are those that no one sees. Your opponent cannot block a punch that they are unaware is coming. When you re-invisible, you become unpredictable. When you are unpredictable, you become unstoppable. Silence is your weapon. Mystery acts as a protective shield. Influence from the shadows increases trust since you do not threaten their ego. They want to recognize that each move they take is one they've planned for them. When others start monitoring you too closely, you become vulnerable. Your patterns become readable. Your image becomes a target. So pull back, break free from the need to be noticed, praised, or validated. Your identity should be masked. Your intentions are unreadable. The more unpredictable you are, the more disorganized your opponents become. They begin guessing. Guessing leads to blunders. They'll chase shadows and fight phantoms while you stay motionless, calm, and in charge. The untouchable not only win, but they also cause others to break apart while attempting to figure out how they win. You aren't here to impress. You are here to orchestrate. Allow others to have the spotlight. Allow them to burn under the heat. You remain in the darkness, cool and calculating. When others rise too quickly and too brightly, they attract fire, but you stay low, laying a foundation that no one can break. Let your name be forgotten. Let your face remain unknown, but make your impact undeniable. As long as you dominate the board, let everyone else get credit for their victories. Be the strategist who never uses all of his cards. Become the master who never reveals his entire arsenal. Appear feeble when you're actually strong. When you reinvested, appear disinterested, be underestimated until it is too late. That is how you dominate. Machiavelli argued that it is better to be feared than loved, but it is also ideal to be neither and still have power over both. If this video woke you up, don't just scroll away. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications to ensure you never miss a lesson that might change everything. This is more than just content. It's mental strategy, spiritual power, and protection against the world. Attempts to break you. Every week, we deliver real, unedited truths that will sharpen your mind and make you invincible. If you want to stand out, start here. Stay ahead. Maintain a risky mindset. Stay untouchable. Press the button because the next move is always yours.